going to be starting a podcast titled Keep Teens Talking. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Keep Teens Talking. I am Natasha, and I'm here with my broke best friend,
Kayla.
Yes, today we are going to talk about people pleasing. I don't know why I did all of this because it's not really an exciting topic, but we are going to dive into this whole people pleasing phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
And I want to talk about it because one, I think it's something that we all low-key kind of struggle with.
Definitely.
But two, I remember in, I think it was the last episode, you talked about like thinking or caring about how people look at you, perceive you, and what people think about you, right? So, it's okay. So I think that is, a branch of people pleasing.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wanted to dive into that, right? So one, what do you think people pleasing is?
Lord, we start every video with this.
Yes, because I need to know where your head is at. Like, what do you really think it is?
Okay. I think people pleasing is like the ability to allow other people's thoughts and emotions affect the way that you move.
Ooh. Why you snap so hard?
Because I don't really know how to snap.
It's just maybe try one at a time. All right, sidetrack. Sorry. I really do like your definition, right? And I think I feel the same way. I need to stop working on that, I think. But I do feel the same way. People pleasing is definitely wanting to like make people happy.
Yeah.
Make people like me all 100% of the time, which is buffoonery because that will never happen. But where do you think it stems from?
For me, because I can only speak about myself.
Yeah.
I think that it kind of stems from like my upbringing.
Okay.
And from you.
Okay, explain.
So like, okay. Since like for like as long as I can remember, and like the same thing for you, nobody like people like don't necessarily classify me as black. Yes. So it's like obviously you see me, I'm black, but it's like, oh, Michaela is whitewashed.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So like for the long, it's like, oh, they kind of like say like Oreo and stuff like that's how they use the term.
Yeah.
But I was just brought up different. And the reason why I like this all like fits to me is mommy is very big on like speaking proper.
Mm-hmm.
I have to speak proper, especially in front of like Caucasians. Mm-hmm. I remember one time I didn't speak proper and she said, no, you don't say that. No colored hair. Like the brightly, like no pink, like hot pink is not allowed. No red nails. No short shorts, like things like that. Like I feel like the typical like
the stereotypical
stereotypical things of like African Americans.
Yeah,
mommy was not with it, and I couldn't like necessarily portray like any characteristics like that. And I don't think that it's because she like has a problem with people who are like that. It's just that she wants. She doesn't want people to like classify me as. Actually, I'm trying to figure out how to word this so like it doesn't sound bad.
Well, just say what you think.
Okay. I think that it's not that she has a problem with like any of the stereotypes because we are who we are.
Right.
I just believe that she didn't want the people who don't see us like that to group me and like be like, oh well, she's this and she's that, so we're not gonna do this. Stuff like that.
So I very much grew up in a home where, that was not allowed. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a Pentecostal apostolic home.
That's a lot to say.
Yeah. So like as females, our armpits couldn't be out. We could wear jewelry, but like hoop earrings, it was a negative. Colored hair, it was a no. If we wore skirts,
had to be
wore skirts if we were to wear skirts, it would have to be below the knees. So like there were a lot of different rules that we had. And I think like once I got out on my own, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to try things out. But everything has to be done in moderation, right? Yes. And so I really wanted to protect you more so from the way that people have a tendency to look at us. If we are to draw attention to ourselves, being me and you, I would want it to be because of what we have up here and not necessarily because of what we look like on the outside. You get what I'm saying? And that like I have nothing, I just want to make this very clear, I have nothing against colored hair. When I was younger, I had purple hair, I had orange hair, I had red hair. Was I going through postpartum depression at the time? Absolutely. But I had those things. And so I think that when Michaela is of a certain age, is it okay for her to do those things? Sure. I just think right now that is not, you know, the way that I would want you to represent yourself.
So the reason why I had like brought that up is because I started to like want to fit in with like other black people because I felt like I wasn't black enough. So they were like, oh, like, they were like, why do you speak that way? Like, you speak so proper, like, loosen up a little bit. That. Or, oh, you don't know this song, you're not black. Or, you don't know these movies, you're not black. So it's like, even stuff like that kind of does or did affect me. And I felt the need to be like, pick me, choose me. Now, I wasn't a pick me. Definitely wasn't a pick me. But I just felt like I wasn't enough in, like, being, like, quote unquote black.
Oh, I'm sorry I made you feel that way.
That's fine. My black was like knowing my history. Like nobody could tell me anything. When it came down to black history, I was gonna eat it up.
And see, I think maybe then it did work, right? Because because that is the goal. Yes. That black does not, you know, have to be equivalent to wearing bright colors. You know, it doesn't have to be equivalent to standing on a corner twerking. You know, that does not define black. And I think it's important that we show different sides of us because we are different. You know, we're multifaceted. There's just not one person that's going to represent an entire community or an entire race. So yeah, I'm glad that you were able to find your voice in that community without having to fit in with everybody else, or even to fit into the box that some people will place us in, you know? That's pretty cool. I am sorry though that like it made you feel like
it wasn't you, it was other people. Like,
yeah, but that still sucks.
Us as black people, sometimes we tend to like tear down other black people just because they don't do everything that you do.
Yeah, and even as an adult, I will say that I get that a lot. Like, the amount of times I've heard people say, like, oh, your black card is revoked. And I'm like, all right, y'all, sorry. You know, I've said this on multiple occasions. I didn't grow up with television. And so to me, like, do I watch TV and stuff like that? Yes, but it's not of huge significance or importance to me. And so that also means like I'm not a huge movie person.
Yeah.
So a lot of movies that the black community are used to, I don't have that in my arsenal. Okay. And they probably wouldn't even tickle my fancy now because I've gone so many years without it, you know? But I definitely can relate to you on that because it's still happening till this day. I'm not black enough. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I think for me, it stemmed from, I feel like it almost always stems from home.
Yes.
Right? Like, because that's where it starts, where your parents or family members put those little nuggets in your ear. And now subconsciously you are you are either opposed to what they're saying and you're being rebellious and trying to go against it, or you're just like, okay, this is me, but I kind of want to be like them, you know? But I think a lot of my people pleasing comes from wanting to make my family happy with the things that I have done. Like, and I think too that it really became a thing for me after getting pregnant, right? Because I feel like I had just disappointed so many people, and so many people felt like, oh my God, this girl had such a bright future and now she's just like throwing her life away, you know? I think a lot of people had counted me out, and I wore that. Like, what do they call it? The scarlet letter, the scarlet A or something like that. Something to that effect. But that was very much so me, because the me that I was prior to getting pregnant was like, I'm going to do everything that everybody tells me to do. I'm going to be perfect. I got good grades, you know, my entire life. I was growing up in Plantation, so I was one of the very few black kids in my elementary school. And to be a black kid and excelling in education in Plantation was like, oh my God, who is this girl? You know, like, I had my name in newspapers.
Really?
Yeah. That was back in the day when newspapers was a thing.
Oh.
But yeah, I was doing so well on paper that, like, I think a lot of times I was overlooked. And so when my mom left, remember, she was a disciplinarian. So when she left, it was kind of like I can breathe. And then I just started hanging with the wrong people and getting into the wrong things, and ended up pregnant. And that was like, that was one of the first times that I've been seen. You know, that was one of the first times my family actually saw me. But then they saw me in a negative light.
Yeah.
And it was like, am I ever going to live this down? Am I ever going to be that perfect child again that they once had? So a lot of my people pleasing stemmed from that. And I think even to this day, and I'm working out in therapy, y'all, but even to this day, I think that a lot of the things that I do, or a lot of the things that I try to accomplish, it's in an effort to be accepted by them again. And I don't really know that that's ever going to be a thing, you know? Like, I just have to be okay with where I am. That was a tangent.
Yeah, that was a good TED Talk.
So here's my question to you. Apart from me wanting you to stand out and not, you know, have that label on you of being the stereotypical African American that people try and classify us as, were there any other comments or remarks that you think make you care about how you present yourself or how you show up?
Okay. I, like, for, like, the first maybe, like, I would say maybe 7 years of my life, I feel like I kind of, like, grew up in church and stuff. And then I think, like, the older that you get, the more, like, you want to try new things.
Okay.
So it was, like, getting my ears pierced, getting my double ears pierced. Then I got my third one, which sadly had to go. Then I got my nose done, like, my nose piercing, and then I wanted a belly button piercing. But, like, I feel like when I, like, got my nose done, like, my nose piercing, and then I was like, I want to get it done, and then if we go to church, I'll take it out. Being, like, with church people, like, your whole life and stuff, it's, like, either you're in the mix, like, you're, like, close-knit with them, or you're on the outside. There is no we're all together. It's either you're in or you're out.
Yeah.
And I feel like from being out, you kind of, like, start to see things differently. They judge a lot. You can't do this, you can't do that. If you do this, then you're this. And it's just like, that's not what everything is about.
Yeah.
I think being like in church for so long and hearing like the things that one have been said like to you and about like other people, it made me not want to like do certain things. So like, let's see, I was told, you know, you go to church, young ladies, you wear dresses, you wear stockings.
Ooh, Kayla hated stockings.
No, the older I got, I was in pants.
Yeah.
So I feel like it is kind of like what you were saying, the same, like either like you feel like you have to rebel because you don't want to do it, like you don't agree with it, or you like fit in. So like being like with like the church community and stuff, it made me want to be like a goody two shoes, and it made me not want to like do certain things. Yes. As to this day, I do not step foot in church. Love God, but I do not step foot in church.
I pray that one day that changes.
Church is too long too. Listen,
some churches, not all churches.
I got church at the house.
Anyways, pray for her, y'all. That one day she will enjoy fellowshipping with like-minded people again. That's all it is. It's just a prayer. Quick prayer. Okay, so I had another question. What was it? Do you think that sometimes, and I hate to use the word mistakes.
Oh, wait, I actually did have another example.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Another one, obviously, was with my dad.
Okay.
As everybody knows, I was bad, but I was staying with my mom for, like, most of the time. All the time. So, like, I feel like every kid has, like, this... okay, me, I was like, oh, my dad is doing this, he's off fighting war, da-da-da-da, like, that's my superhero, like, stuff like that. And then the older that you get, shout out to my dad, okay, he's better. But when you have, like, a mom, like, kind of like I did, that, like, tried to shelter, like, her children or her child and not let them see the truth behind, like, things.
Yeah.
It protects everybody's character. And sometimes it can make her seem like the bad guy, which was the case to me when I was younger. Like, sometimes, like, oh, well, da-da-da-da. But I didn't know everything that was going on.
Right.
And I think that the older, like, that I got, and, like, obviously the more that I seen and realized on my own, and I could make my own, like, interpretations of stuff, it made me want to be, like, a people pleaser. So, like... for my dad's side of the family and my dad too, getting good grades is like, it's me. Like, that's what I like to do. I love academic validation.
Okay.
When I don't do a good job, it actually hurts my heart. Like, freshman year, that was a mess. It was a rough year. But my sophomore year, it was like, okay, I'm getting good grades. So if I had like a 87, I felt like I needed a 90. Like, like it just wouldn't stop. And I loved to be validated for that. Like, it was just a mess.
Not a mess. That's not a bad thing.
Well, no, but, like, it was to the point where I would actually, like, get really upset. Like, oh, this is going to go down. No. Listen, grades used to be in check, but I would still go to every single teacher before that quarter ended to make sure it was going to be A. I was on a roll, but, like, getting good grades was my way of, like, feeling seen by that side of the family. And then also, like, having my life, like, quote-unquote, together. So, like, knowing, like, oh, I want to do this when I grow up. I'm going to, like, leave high school and do this and do that. From the ripe age of, like, maybe 7 or 8, there was no, like, oh, like, the simple, like, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a policeman. Like, it was, like, I knew what I wanted to do. And everybody would be, like, they would praise me because I knew what I wanted to do. Oh, she wants to do this. That's good.
You mean like on your dad's side of the family?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, it's just, like, I just felt the need to continue doing what I need to do. And, like, getting good grades and just being, like, a quote-unquote angel. Even in school. So
we have similar experiences. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Even in school, like, I don't act out. Listen, almost every teacher, except for one in high school... like, they would say Michaela is an angel. Like, Michaela does her work. Michaela...
I just can't get comfortable. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Michaela does her work. She participates in class. I go, like, above and beyond to like stand out. So it's just like little things like that. It's like, girl, you're people pleasing. And you know, sometimes you just gotta do it.
Not you just gotta do it.
Just gotta do it. Because it's beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it's a bad thing, you know? I get the whole you realizing that you're only, or maybe that you started off doing it just to be seen by that side of the family. But now I think it's almost become like a thing for you where it's like, these grades gonna be in order.
Yeah, because I like money.
Yeah, she gets paid for good grades. Yeah. So I think, well, it wasn't this episode. I think in another episode I talked about like not giving her an allowance for cleaning the house, but I do pay her to invest in her education. So any extracurricular activities, she gets paid for. Good grades, she gets paid for. Her dad's side of the family also blesses her when she, you know, gets good grades. So I do think it may have started off as like, I want to make them happy, or I want to. I feel like maybe subconsciously, and we can talk about it, okay? Let me see how to word this. Maybe you you focus that heavily on academics because of your dad and I, like what we did at your age.
Yes.
Do you think that that is like a weight on your shoulder?
Okay, I would say kind of, because it's like I feel like every like teenager works, like most of them worked hard to have good grades and do this and do that. But I do feel like there's like an extra weight on my shoulder where it's like, yeah, like you need to make good grades and you need to know what you want to do. Leave like all like the making connections and maybe talking to boys, if you like, leave all that stuff to the side and focus on this one thing. This is all that you have. This is all that you need to have.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to say it. It's like, it's okay. It's like I'm working like hard on my grades, but then I'm also working 10 times harder on like perfecting myself and how people view me. I don't show anything where like I used to be boy crazy like first freshman year. Crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's like I locked in, but it's because I don't want to love myself, love my mom, don't want to make the same mistake that she did. And I don't want anybody else to view me like her or like she was, sorry. So like even down to like the clothes that I wear and stuff around my family, it's not matching up. Like it's no. Like an outfit that I might wear like on the road or like even to school, I wouldn't wear like with my family. Not that I wear crazy outfits, but like it just wouldn't work because I don't want people to try and make like a comparison between me and 16-year-old self you.
Yeah.
That, but also, wait, I just had it. What was I just talking about?
The clothes that you wear, you want to wear it to the other or to your family.
Yes, but also like other like family members and stuff, their idea is to like kind of instill fear in me, so like I don't fall into whatever trap they think is out there for me.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work. It really just makes me annoyed. Like it'd be too like people keep telling me stuff like I don't know.
Yeah,
and I know it, and baby, it's just not me. It's just not me.
Yeah. I think that, okay, one, I do not want to place like that weight on you, right? At this point, you are 16 years old.
Right, not pregnant.
And you're not pregnant. So let that be a burden off of your shoulders. And I don't think that that's something that I've projected onto you. I try my hardest not to. I think I've realized that Kayla is not me. And Kayla will not make the mistakes that I've made. Is she going to make mistakes? Absolutely.
Yes.
But they're going to be her own mistakes. They're not going to be, you know, the choices that I've made in my life. And so I try my hardest darndest not to project those things onto you, or, you know, treat you like you were me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take nothing else away from this, baby, take that burden off of you, please. Please, because you have already surpassed where your father and I were, you know?
Yeah.
But do you think that you would ever get to a place where you're not thinking about those things?
Yes. When I'm not with that side, or like whoever is making like those comments, I don't remember them.
Okay.
I just live my life. But
Just live my
yeah, I
life.
just live my life. But then when it's like being like spoken into existence, or like in my ear, it's like, okay, so you really expect this of me.
Yeah.
Like, you really expect me to make these decisions. And it's like,
But I think
shocking.
maybe that speaks volumes to their character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and maybe too, they're able to make those comments because, one, they're fearful,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but two, they don't actually know you, you know, because to know Michaela is to know that mother is not doing it, okay? She's just not.
No, my love.
She's just not here for it. So I think maybe it's less of a you thing and more of a them thing,
Yeah.
you know? And maybe that can help to lighten, you know, the burden on you as well. Because it is so hard to walk around with those thoughts, right? Because you almost walk around with a chip on your shoulder, like, I have something to do. I'm on a mission. And you just let life pass you by because you're solely focused on pleasing these individuals, right? And it's individuals that, never mind,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it,
Yeah.
but focus on contributing things, you know, to, one, the benefit of your adulthood, but two, to the people that are a constant in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Period. That was our segment for today. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. We look forward to hearing from you. We are so appreciative for you even supporting and being here with us today. And until next time, y'all, be blessed.